Brave enough to get hold of that, was it?
It would have had a nip. We're seeing everything now. Well, they are, Rowley. Highlights, lowlights, plenty of them. We hope it's going to be a bit different next season. Time will certainly tell. So thanks an awful lot for having a look at this tape. Thanks a lot if you bought it, as I always say. What do you reckon, mate? Poor old season.
Yeah, well, I mean, it speaks for itself, John. We're in the second division now, and I can't say I'm really looking forward to it. Not like I would if we were still stayed in the first, but, well, we'll just have to carry on and do the job.
This time next season, well, we'll all know something different. And now we'll have the last word of this tape from somebody who matters a fair bit to this club, I should suspect. And next is going to be Kenny Swain summing up the whole thing for you. Thanks very much, everyone. Right, well, sitting alongside me now after the 4-0 defeat of Southend United, last game of the season, game, as I've said earlier, saw us relegated despite all that, is the Grimsby Town manager Kenny Swain. And Kenny Swain, it's a rather sour end to the season, as I said earlier. It's good victory today, but you know, things didn't turn out for us. We've been at the wrong end of the division for some time now, and we just couldn't claw our way away from it.
No, it's been a bittersweet day in many respects, because we've we found our best performance, most convincing victory of the season here, which is always a great note to finish any season on. But having had the result through from Bradford, obviously it's very, very disappointing, not only from a personal point of view, but from the players certainly, and I suspect from all the supporters here as well.
There was a lot of times going back over the last 2 or 3 months whereby really it shouldn't have come down to today anyway, should it?
Well, you're always hoping that it wouldn't go to the wire, but I felt even 2 or 3 months ago that it was always going to go down to the wire. We've had some big games that arguably we could have been dead and buried in. Springing to mind is Oldham away, Bradford away, and we've come away from those games with victories. And I felt, from being marooned with 5 points adrift 5 or 6 months ago, we've always had light at the end of the tunnel. And going into today's game, unfortunately, no matter what we did or how well we did, we're always relying on other people's fortunes or misfortunes.
One point I was just going to mention is that, of course, you took over the reins halfway through the season, basically. Do you think, probably, I'm sure you would like to think, that you could have done things differently had you been in charge from the off?
That's easy to say in hindsight, and I'm sure, I'm pretty sure of my own ability that that would be the case. But in defence of everybody else, it's difficult to change things halfway through. But nevertheless, I do feel there's been an improvement. I do feel there's been light. I do feel that the young players who've come in have made a contribution, plus loan signings have made a contribution. And I'm not forgetting that the experienced pros here at the club have also played their part. But you are working within, tight constraints. I knew that, and I still know that. It is difficult staying in this league. There's absolutely no shadow of a doubt about that. You look at the 3 clubs that have gone down. It's no coincidence that they're the 3 most poorly supported clubs, if you like. Having said that, I still believe, if you look at Port Vale, there's still an opportunity there to go forward. I believe the club has still got potential to move forward. The youth policy can develop further. It's done very well over the last 2 years, 2.5 years since I've been here. John Cockle's got his teeth into the job. He's done really well at it, and I'm quite confident that with an investment in the youth side, and with an investment into finding young talent, which I believe I can find, I still think there's potential to fulfil at the club.
This time last year, of course, we saw teams like Watford, Luton go down, and a lot of people expecting them to come straight back up again. Millwall, one of their sides, and great stadium, raking in money hand over fist. Everything's gone wrong for them this season, or certainly not gone right. How do you think things will be this time next year for Grimsby?
I don't underestimate the task that lies ahead for the football club. It'll be a very, very difficult task, there's no doubt about that. I'm sure there are lots of clubs within the country who will testify to the task of bouncing straight back. But nevertheless, I still feel it's a highly motivated football town. There's a hard core of support here, which will always see the club through. And I think if we can get things right on the football field, the backing and the kind of support that it's got within the community here, could see things through to fruition. I really do think the club's still got potential.
And of course we're talking within hours of the occasion happening of us being relegated, but do you see even at this stage any drastic changes to be made to prepare ourselves for next season in the second division?
I wouldn't like to judge anything purely on conjecture at this particular point within hours. It is something I've thought about for a long time, and I still feel the club's got potential. It's always going to be an evolutionary change rather than a revolutionary change, and I still feel, I honestly do feel, that the club's got prospects.
Well, let's hope that that is the case. Thanks an awful lot to Kenny Swain. I'm sorry we couldn't be thanking you in better circumstances, but who knows, this time next season it might be that we're thanking Kenny Swain for something entirely different, and let's hope that's the case. Kenny Swain, thank you very much.
Thank you.